Welcome to episode 332 of the 2 Minute Warning. Today I'm looking at the Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert and what I think we can expect heading into the 2021 NFL season, what I expect for them to do in this upcoming season. But before I get into that topic, I have a question of the day for you Chargers fans and NFL fans in general. In 2007, the San Diego Chargers at the time had one of the greatest backfields in NFL history. While they might not have hit their complete potential at the time, on paper, one of the best backfields in NFL history. Comment those three running backs in the same backfield on the Chargers roster in the same year. If you could get the comment, first one to comment it right will get the comment pinned, but if you don't know it, don't worry, stay till the end to get the answer. Of course, just a hint, one of the running backs is, of course, LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, but can you get the other two? Getting into this video, what do I expect for the Los Angeles Chargers heading into the 2021 NFL season? As you guys know, I'm not a Chargers fan, but I'm very bullish on Justin Herbert and the Chargers and think they could do big things. Looking at their schedule next year, I think they could go anywhere from 8-8 to 12-4. Yes, that is a huge range. Anyone could pick a 6-game range and be close. Of course, I understand that. I'm not being precise. But if I had to pick a number, I do think 10-6 is the best median. I do think that 10-6 is right where the Chargers will finish. But my reasoning for that large range is because a lot of variables are coming into the Chargers this year. New head coach, still shaky O-line, and we have to see, did Justin Herbert just have beginner's luck or not? I don't think he did, but that is a thing in the NFL, and just in general, beginner's luck is a thing, and Justin Herbert could take a bit of a step back. Do I think he will? No, I think he will take a step forward and even become an MVP conversationalist, so that could make them from 10-6 to 12-4, but that is always a possibility. So looking at the loss of Anthony Lynn and the addition of Brandon Staley, that is a big variable to your team determining what your record is. As we've seen this year, the Chargers finished 7-9, and there were about 5 or 6 games that came down to the last play that could have changed from a different head coach and really the Chargers lost that game to a bad coaching call from Anthony Lynn. So of those 6 games they lost, that could be a quick turnaround with the right coach. If you even give half of those games to the Chargers, that could be a 10-6 team this year. So moving forward, I do think I have a lot of faith in Brandon Staley, and I think they will upgrade this coming season for sure. Looking at their schedule, I think 10-6 is very fair. I don't know. I'm definitely not going to, as much as I like Justin Herbert, I'm not going to say he's going to take out Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs just yet out of the AFC West. I'm not going to say they win division just yet. Is it possible? Of course, but as of right now, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get Justin Herbert over the Chiefs dynasty at the moment now. But looking at the schedule, of course, they got the Broncos twice and Raiders twice. I truly think they could sweep both of those teams and go 4-0. That's not entirely likely. I don't know if I bet money on that, but I do think it is more likely than not for them to sweep than at minimum go 3-1. They play the NFC East, the weakest division in football right now. I don't think they'll be as dog shit as they were this past year, but they're still not going to be stellar by any means. I think they could do well in the division, go anywhere from 3-1 to 4-0 across the NFC East. They play the AFC North. That's a tough one between the Steelers, Bengals, Browns, and Ravens. So I think Justin Herbert can edge out Joe Burrow. I think he has a much better roster and is a little bit more talented. Baker Mayfield and the Browns, always hit or miss. Ravens with Lamar, again, hit or miss. Justin Herbert can do what Mahomes does to Lamar and just dominate him, and it's not even a rivalry. That's good news, and the Steelers are slowly declining with Big Ben aging. Chargers have a lot of hope, and their schedule isn't too bad this year, and then their 2 random games within the AFC are the Texans and Patriots. As much as I want to say they are better than the Patriots, I thought they were better this year, and this was the worst game of the Chargers this past year against the Patriots. I believe they lost 45-0, 42-0. It wasn't pretty by any means. 45-3. It was ugly. I don't know the exact score. And the Texans, as long as they get rid of Deshaun Watson, that's going to be an easy win for the Chargers. So, not to bore you guys, but I have them finishing around 10-6. And 10-6, while it wasn't a playoff berth this year, as you saw the Miami Dolphins get bumped out at 10-6, I think the Chargers will sneak into the wild card round next year. And really, I don't see a team for the Chargers that I'm truly worried about, except for the Kansas City Chiefs heading into the playoffs. Now, do I want to say they're better than every single team but the Chiefs? Do I think they're better than the Bills? Do I think they're better than the Ravens? Do I think they're better than the Colts if they get a right quarterback? I don't want to say they're better, but there's not a team I don't think the Chargers can't beat, and even the Chiefs, I think they have a fighter's chance. But if I'm being 100% realistic, zero biasness, zero bullish, I'm being just looking at logic and statistics, I think there's not a single team that the Chargers don't have a great chance at beating in the playoffs or in the NFL in general into this next season outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, which they still have a fighter's chance, just a much less chance compared to those other teams. Just looking at the quarterback matchup in the AFC, I know it's early to say, but I like Justin Herbert. In the AFC, between like the top three quarterbacks, I think it's Mahomes, Herbert, or Josh Allen, and there's really not an argument for any other one. And yes, there's Big Ben, but he's aging. Yes, there's Lamar, but he's kind of one-dimensional. Just his run game, I don't see why Justin Herbert wouldn't be in the top three conversation for the AFC quarterbacks, excluding Deshaun Watson, because we don't know where he will go. Running back, Austin Eckler, one of the best running backs out of the backfield to me. When I look at Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler, I automatically think in my head, the first thing that comes to instinct is Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara getting 8, 9, 10 targets a game from his quarterback out of the backfield. I think Austin Eckler could do the same exact thing from Justin Herbert and take this team to a lot of touchdowns and a lot of wins. I see exactly Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara, but a little bit better in my opinion. I think Justin Herbert has a much stronger arm than Drew Brees for sure. He's got the size in his Michael Thomas comparison to Keenan Allen. Like I said, Saints and Chargers, got a big receiver to throw to. Mike Williams is a great receiver as well. Hunter Henry, I hope they keep him in free agency if the price is right. But if you got a team like the Jets or the Jaguars or the Colts that have the cap space and have the money to overpay Henry, don't fight for him. You'll get another tight end in the draft or somewhere else, maybe Kyle Pitts in the NFL draft. But I just don't see offensively what's going to stop the Chargers. Of course, offensive line, but I do think that will be fixed this year. Brandon Staley, like I said, I have hope in him. He's coming into this LA team. He's from LA. He just coached the Rams. He's not moving cities. He's not moving states. He's just moving teams. He's very familiar with Los Angeles, and really the defense was the biggest thing for the Chargers to fix. And now that you got a defensive mind coming in, what's left besides offensive line? And offensive line could definitely be fixed an entire offseason between free agency and the NFL draft. Looking at the draft, free agency and the draft are definitely another variable of what will affect the Chargers' record coming into the offseason, because it's going to determine who they pick up, how much they get better, will they get worse, will they cut a guy they shouldn't have cut, etc. You know the drill. But to me, if you could somehow in the draft steal a weapon for Herbert, such as Kyle Pitts, maybe a corner such as Patrick Surtain or Caleb Farley, maybe an offensive lineman like Rashawn Slater. You just want one of those X-factor guys. I think this team will escalate for sure. We saw the Buccaneers go from 7-9 last year to now the Super Bowl appearance of Tom Brady this year. I'm not going to say they're going to take that jump by any means, but one good draft and one good offseason, and look what happened to the Buccaneers. I think the Chargers can do the same thing. Of course, they're not going to be making exponential move at quarterback position like the Bucs did, but I'm just saying the possibility is there for the Chargers. I think really, I don't want to say it's not complicated. Of course, I'm not an NFL GM. I don't know every single thing that works, but I think the Chargers are in a lot better position than a lot other teams in the NFL. You're just really an extra offensive lineman away and an extra defensive player away to taking this team to a deep playoff run. Brandon Staley, like I said, defensive mind. He might try and recruit guys from the Los Angeles Rams. We know Troy Hill is a cornerback from the Rams that did well under Staley. Maybe he'll recruit him to the other side of LA, to the Chargers side, and then you have a great secondary between Casey Hayward, Chris Harris Jr., Derwin James, Troy Hill. The possibilities are endless for this Chargers team, and if I'm putting my money on the line, I say the Chargers make the playoffs next year. I think they'll go right around 10-6 if I had to pick a specific record number. Just looking around the AFC, I think the Chiefs, Bills, Ravens are kind of all lock-ins for the AFC playoff picture. Colts, we still don't know what they're going to do at quarterback position. Miami, we don't know how Tua is going to be. Tennessee, very Derrick Henry reliant. If they ever figure him out, things could get ugly for the Titans. Steelers regressing, and the Baker Mayfield Browns, I think they will probably make the playoffs as well. But there's, like I said, there's 7 seeds in the AFC right now. There's no way, in my opinion, I just don't see the Chargers not making it, assuming Brandon Staley is even the slightest upgrade from Anthony Lynn. I'm not asking him to be Sean McVay copycat. I'm not asking him to be Bill Belichick. I'm not asking him to be Pete Carroll, Sean Payton, Andy Reid, whoever it may be. I'm asking him to just be better than Anthony Lynn. Basically just be good enough to keep your job, and you're better than Anthony Lynn. And I think Brandon Staley, with his defensive mind, will be able to fix the defensive side of the Chargers. Hopefully, I don't know if they'll keep Melvin Ingram, but possibly I've heard there's rumors maybe they'll look into Von Miller. He's in free agency to pair him up with Joey Bosa. That's a scary pass rush if the Chargers can give Von Miller and Joey Bosa. A quarterback would fear that coming after him. So I know Von Miller's not the same prime guy he was when he won the Super Bowl, but new energy, new presence, new team. I'm sure he'd get a little bit of those juices back to take on any quarterback and any offensive lineman in the league. So I'm getting a little bullish here and out of hand, a lot of what ifs, but like I said, just one extra defensive player and Brandon Staley fixes the defense, and you just kind of, I don't want to say you don't need to touch the offense, but add an extra offensive lineman and Justin Herbert will do the rest. You give him one more split second in the pocket and the dude will work his magic, already having 34 touchdowns as a rookie. I think he could possibly throw 40 in his second year. It's not exactly impossible to say the dude threw 34 and playing only 15 games, being a rookie, have one of the tougher schedules in the NFL. I think this Chargers team has big things coming for them. Super Bowl appearance, not going to bet on it 100%. If they make it, am I surprised? No, but if I'm putting money on the line, I like the Chargers to make this playoffs next year. Chargers fans, you should be happy with that alone. You went 7-9. You're heading to the offseason on a 4-game win streak. You got a new coach. You got some cap space. You got a good draft pick, and you got a franchise quarterback. It's not very often you get a franchise quarterback just as soon as you lose your other one, Phillip Rivers, of course, the very next year. So you guys got kind of fortunate there. There's only so many teams in the league that can say they have their franchise guy. You saw the Texans, they thought they had theirs, and now they're about to lose them too. So the Chargers, I think, are in a great position to make the playoffs and just build a possible dynasty and finally have a good shot at the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love the Chargers in this team, and I think the possibilities are endless. But for the question of the day, as I said, the Chargers at one point had one of the best backfields in NFL history. Of course, number one was LaDainian Tomlinson, one of the best running backs in NFL history. Behind him and beside him was Darren Sproles, Darren the Tank, Jackrabbit, Sproles, whatever you want to call him. Probably one of the toughest guys, pound for pound, for his size, being whatever he is, 5'6", and could probably bench 450. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but we know Darren Sproles could run through anyone at his size. And then, of course, the third person in that backfield, one of the most respected fullbacks in NFL history, Lorenzo Neal. This running back backfield was one of the most stacked in NFL history. They might not have reached their full potential, all being at different ages and different stages in their NFL careers. But on paper, I'm not sure you get a backfield much better than this. Thanks for watching, guys. 2-1.